I'm George Mitchell, food and beverage photographer from St. Louis, Missouri, in the Paul C. Buff Studios today, and we're going to be lighting bottles and liquid. All right, so first we'll start with our camera setup because that's going to be very important, of course. So we're going to be using the Fujifilm GFX 50S, which is a medium format camera with a 120mm macro lens, which is equivalent to about 90 millimeters. The reason why I'll use this lens in food and beverage photography is because compression on either side or all sides gives me more of a straighter shot, not too much distortion. Also, I have a compendium hood that has a linear polarizer on the inside of it. The reason why we use the linear polarizer is to help us reduce that reflection that we'll get from the lights, reflections in the glass that would be pretty much ugly. In the process of capturing our images, we want to make sure that we're getting the sharpest images possible, especially being that we're going to be doing a focus stack. Two things have to happen. One, I recommend shooting in manual. You want to manually focus on each individual piece that you're looking to capture. This ensures peak sharpness in each of your shots. Second, I use a 2-second delay, and I also use a trigger to fire my camera. Yes, this is a mirrorless medium format camera. However, there are still some slight vibrations that occur once that shutter button is depressed. So to alleviate from having any shake or movement from our camera, I'll use a remote and I'll use at least a 2-second delay. When photographing for food and beverage or photographing for brands, we have to be intentional. Brands spend a ton of money to develop their logos, their labels, because connoisseurs of these beverages, that's one of the things that they look for is the brand, the logo, the label. We have to make it our job to make sure that we're highlighting the label in the best possible way, to make it sexy, to give it a little flair and creativity, but at the same time, making sure that we're putting the brand first and promoting the brand. So let's move on to our lighting setup, and we'll talk about this strip bank here. We've taken out the outer diffusion panel. We're going to use the inner baffle primarily to diffuse a little bit of our light that's going to hit our bottle here. It's slightly behind the bottle, but once you see the final image, you'll see that the strip light is creating a nice edge line down the side of the bottle, which helps us define the shape and give off the feeling of roundness in the bottle. Over here, we have a link using the optical snoop, and we're solely using this light to focus on our label. Again, brands spend a ton of money on labels. It's up to us as photographers, especially with beverage, to make sure that we're highlighting that label in its best light possible. Our overhead light also helps us illuminate the shoulders of the bottle, the top of the bottle, and gives us just a little bit of light on the edges. So our last light in this setup, we're going to kind of go with something that's taken from old portraiture. A background light helps our subject in defining depth and also giving a little bit more form to the shape of the bottle by creating that separation between the background and the subject itself. Our background light has the 7-inch reflector with a 30-degree grid in it, helps shape the light that's focused on the background. Let me tell you one of the things that I love about this optical snoop. The gobo and the holder, these slats will also aid in further shaping light of your gobo. This is something that's not often found in other light modifiers. I have modified my optical snoots and snoops so many times to create certain effects, right? That's a plus for me. A common practice in food, beverage, and product photography overall is the practice of focus stacking. A lot of times you can have a much slower aperture and get everything in focus. But being that we are looking to capture this product in its best light and have the ability to resell that in an image for consumers, we have to capture the most important pieces of the product that we're photographing. So for instance, we'll have a shot for the label. We'll have a shot for the top of the bottle. We'll have a shot for the base of the bottle and the tabletop that it's on. Then later on in post-process, we'll bring all those images together to create one solid shot that's clearly focused and sharp all the way through. Again, we're looking to get peak sharpness out of our image. So in order to do that, we'll use that 2-second delay. We'll manual focus to ensure the quality of the shot. So let's talk about gold cards. This is something that I carry in my food kit on every shoot. Just like your standard reflector in photography, gold is going to give us a little bit more warm of a tone, whereas silver will give us a cooler tone. And if you have a gold card or a reflector that's both silver and gold, you'll get more of a sunlight tone. One of the things that beverage consumers look for is the color of the liquid. And we want to make sure that when we're capturing this as a product, we want to make sure that that liquid glows. Just kind of consider it as looking at a portrait. Catch lights in the eyes. Same thing with liquids. We want to give the liquid a good glow to warm the bottle, to make it more lifelike. If you didn't have that glow, it kind of makes the liquid inside kind of dead, just as it would if you were photographing a person and they had no catch lights in their eyes. And we'll just simply place it behind the bottle. And this is another good reason why we focus stack, because we'll want to edit this out of the image. But we'll just place this gold card right behind the bottle, getting that gold reflection warm in that liquid. So let's talk about the Celestial really fast. I'm an Einstein user. On my set, I can have up to 5 Einstein lights running at any given time. And on location, if I'm in a restaurant, one of the things that can become a bit of a chore or a hazard is having cords. The beauty of the Celestial light is that it uses a battery. It's still small and lightweight, just like my Einstein, but I don't have to use a cord if I don't want to. If I'm on location, I can actually charge the battery while shooting without damaging the battery. I can plug it in and I can continue my shoot. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. I hope you enjoyed what we reviewed today. I had a great time here on set in the Paul C. Buff studio. Shout out to them for having me in studio today. You can find me at gmitchellphoto.com or on social media handles at gmitchellphoto. Hey, thanks again for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe.